There are thousands of individuals, such as Andrew Tate, who grew up in the environment with a lack of education but became successful. On the other hand, there are people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk who acquire knowledge and gain triumph. If you had to choose between these two options, which one would you pick? Good afternoon, esteemed guests and my friends. My name is Dong Han from the 11th grade, and today I stand before you to investigate a profound topic that has resonated throughout the world. Does education lead to success in the future? It is undeniable that education impacts our individual growth and builds social elements that are significant. Its primary meaning is to transfer information and skills to the next generations and to preserve and advance it. Education is often referred to as the cornerstone of personal development and opens the door for all people to find their interest and navigate us onto the journey. It provides us an opportunity to foster critical thinking, creativity, and disciplines us to adapt to difficult challenges and move through them. Its value is not only captured in enhancing an individual's abilities, but also contributes to our society in broad ways, like pursuing individuals to bear economic opportunities and activating people to participate in processes to promote social harmony. Moreover, it exposes us to international competitions that addresses collaborations with other countries to develop economics or adapt themselves to new landscapes of economics easily. To briefly introduce what I just said, since they have well-educated populations, they are in a forefront compared to other populations who have a lack of education. In contemporary society, people think that the education system not only imparts knowledge, but also helps people to learn things that work in society. Because we, humans, have already reached a culmination through such as artificial intelligence, quantum mechanics, which is 원자력 in Korean. Education will be enforced and become even more necessary in order to make a greater development in the future. So, to say what I just mentioned, because the world is evolving rapidly, it demands higher education to solve the complexities. For instance, recently, there was an issue due to a false article asserting that they invented room temperature superconductivity. To give an idea about how complex the superconductivity is, it needs to meet a tremendous amount of requirements. First, they need stuffs covered with a magnetic field, and it has to push another magnetic field from outside of it. Next, they need all the information for a formula like Lorentz, which is relevant to the chemistry. To investigate this experiment, they should collect more background knowledge and education to fortify their research. But after going through all the procedures and investing in room temperature superconductivity, will it bring success in the future to those individuals who contributed to this experiment? From my perspective, I would like to assert that some will have success, but some will not. Some people might think that they have success because they had huge improvements and achieved their personal goal. Some people might think that they have triumph because they gain a lot of money. Some people think that they have success because they got fame. Everyone's meaning of success is differentiated, and stewards of progress are definitely distinctive. The concept of success is generally subjective and varies from person to person. By their by their experience, beliefs, and maybe personal aspirations. And there's a bunch of factors that impacts humans to have diverse perspectives on success. Cultural norms and expectations may play a vital role in shaping the perception of success and personal fulfillment. Sometimes triumphs are intertwined with an individual's happiness, and all the situation is not relevant to external substances, which can be like money or their reputation. Let's give an example with a football player named Lionel Messi. To give a brief description of who he is, he won several trophies like Champions League, broke thousands of records, and recently he won the 2022 World Cup. At this point, I'd like to ask, how much money did he gain from his achievement? In 2022, Messi's assets were $1,028.9 million. And at the end of last year, Saudi Arabia offered Messi to play in their league and offer about $800 million. But sadly, he rejected the offer and went to Miami. From this example, we can see that his belief in success is far from wealth, but is heading towards his happiness. To give another idea, Lady Gaga, who is a singer-songwriter and put her name multiple times on the record, invests about half of her profit to construct a meticulous and ingenious music show. Her personal values and definition of happiness are far from wealth or achievements, but to make a show saturated with astonishments and exclamation. Some people think that success is equated to the contribution they give to society, like donation, volunteering to save people's lives, and maybe in their perspective, it can be their personal fulfillment. As we can see from all these kinds of examples, we can also conclude that everyone does not have the same meaning of success. Individuals progress through life, their priorities and perspectives changes. Because we, humans, reflect the dynamic and adaptive nature of the human mind. People's thoughts can change for a variety of reasons, which means that maybe their meaning of success can be changed too. Exposure to diverse culture and maybe social influences can play a vital role in changing person's thoughts on shrimp. Interaction with others and making personal relationships in a different community can also change a person's perspectives on their success, and maybe enable them to broaden their thoughts on personal values and beliefs. As I came to value international scholars and met with new environments and cultures, I noticed that the way I see the meaning of success is changed from conservative to progressive. Experiencing a new event can make a change to a person's values that they hold and they are into. For example, I was a person who was conservative because of my cultural background. Generally, most Asian parents push their children to be successful. Maybe like in external ways, like getting a lot of money or get good reputation. And like most Asian parents did, my parents also pushed me to be successful in my academics and get maybe a good reputation. So I've always tried myself to follow my parents' expectations and lost myself with the stress that I had to get all A's. But recently, I confronted a tragic event, which was the absence of my grandfather. I asked myself at the funeral, what should I do to live without leaving any regrets in the world? I changed my mindset and asked myself what I truly value and where my happiness comes from. However, the thing is that the majority of people think that education leads to success in the future. Most parents force their children to be diligent and maybe get good GPA and essay score, whatever that's good for their college resume, including me. Most of the students in Valor push themselves a lot to overcome or to be resilient to challenges. We push ourselves to go to good universities and get a good job at well-known companies like Microsoft or Apple. But will we actually personal goals or get happiness by doing all this? Do we, students, have a dream of what we want to be in the future? The answer is no, we do not. All we do is study until midnight, maybe go to sleep, wake up, and go to school. Of course, there's a possibility that education serves as a compass guiding the persons to get triumph. The power of education makes individuals challenge themselves to complexes such as changing circumstances or maybe adapting themselves to the reality. And it is the safest, fastest way to earn money, which is the norm of success, because most people who are in the 90th percentile of assets went through education. But as I already mentioned, we have different values, and it is different definition of success. And even if a person earns a lot of profit, they can also see themselves as they are not being even close to their personal goal. As we journey forward, it can be said that there is a vivid connection between education and future success as we consider that value of it. But we cannot conclude that education is a cornerstone of embracing triumph, because we humans share divergent values, and all those variances are not linked to wealth or achievements. Fostering triumph can be unique, like constructing its own house or living a healthy life. As we chart the course ahead, we should start to realize that education is not always the right answer to get success, and there are many options outside the world to achieve it. In this shared endeavor, rather than aiming for the standard values, we should make our own path to be successful. Thanks for listening.